I've been making videos since I'm 11 years old, and I've seen every YouTube and Instagram hype that came along. In these years, I've worked with over 50 plus businesses to create content and make money with it. And the goal of this video is to give you valuable tips that you can directly implement into your next video so you don't miss out on a good performing piece of content. So, I've prepared the 10 most ignored pieces of advice for content creators who start making content or try to improve their social presence. So let's get into number 1. Don't hate the algorithm, but embrace it. It's the ultimate feedback system. You can hate on it all you want, but modern algorithms are the number one reason for fast innovation in the content that we see today. It's also the number one reason we get less boring videos, messages are conveyed faster, content is more clearly and easier to understand, resulting in better worldwide communication. If your content is not taking off, and you're hating on the algorithm like I was a few years ago, you need to accept that your videos are simply not good enough. And yes, our content consumption has increased, but this is in your own hands and your own responsibility. So ultimately, algorithms have improved everything that we watch since it motivates creators to make better content. So that's what I'm saying. Use this technology for you since it can exponentially grow your audience overnight. If you do it right. And if you follow along with the next 8 points, I'm 100% sure you will do a better job. Number 2, making very specific content for a very specific small audience can be very profitable. This goes for me too. I don't expect this channel to blow up so I can make money from AdSense. Absolutely not. I help a handful of businesses grow their sales through successful media strategies and they pay me for it. And I'm not the only one. I know YouTube channels that have not even 2,000 subscribers that do over $200,000 a month in revenue. So you might want to ask yourself again, why am I making content and who am I making it for? A small specific audience to help them with a very specific problem, or a huge general audience and entertain them and only earn a little bit of AdSense from it? Remember, if you can help a specific target audience with a very specific problem or goal, they're more likely to pay you good money for it. If you focus on everyone, you will probably earn money from no one as you don't offer them what they actually need. Number 3, do the opposite of your industry. Set yourself apart. Everyone is competing on the same stuff. The same scripts, the same hooks, the same trends, the same editing. Everyone is chasing views. And they're doing it in the wrong way. Yes, they might get some views, but it will never be sustainable if you're always chasing the next hype. You can't hold up to constantly chase and innovate. What I've done in the past years is choose your battles. Before you lose your time, money, and energy by the time you're too late. Stick with what works and double down on it. Because even saying and doing the opposite of the industry will get old. Because what might be unique now will be cliche within a month and everyone will be making content about it. So in an industry that always changes, keep your head cool and keep an eye on what's actually important. Giving your audience exactly what they need as best as you can. Don't try to lure them in with all kinds of fishy ways. It might work once or twice, but like I said before, it's not sustainable. So to add to that, point number 4, authenticity is key. If the workflow and everything you do to create videos is the same route as everyone else takes, how do you expect people to choose your content over others? I've worked with plenty of businesses that had all the right infrastructure, the plans, the gear, and the money, but without an authentic, charming speaker for their content, it just won't really work. Whereas businesses that lack the infrastructure, has no money, and creates videos with bad gear, but does have a charming, authentic speaker, do 10 times better views, conversions, and sales. Try to come up with unique ways of working, not just while recording, but also while preparing your videos. Use methods that nobody else is using. Talk about the stuff that nobody else is talking about. Try something new. Develop your style by working in ways that might seem unfamiliar or weird to you. Be authentic and don't just copy what everyone else is doing. Number 5, content doesn't need to be expensive. If you're failing at making successful content, which I know a lot of you are, the problem is usually not the gear. And the danger of companies I've worked with that have a lot of money is that they think they can fix their problems by buying better high quality gear. Seriously, I've worked on productions for governments that have paid over 40,000 euros for a 30-second simple video. The production quality was very much overkill. We literally had to think of ways to spend more money on the video, otherwise we would look stupid for the amount of money they paid. I think as a video creator, you should take the responsibility to inform your clients of what they actually need. Usually they need better education on how to present themselves paired with a personalized strategy, not another 4K camera or a 20-man film crew. And talking about gear, let's get into point number 6. Use tech to your advantage, but don't let it replace you, for the creative content will lose its soul. As you know, AI is growing very rapidly and every day there are new tools available to increase your efficiency with scripting, filming, and editing. And as tempting as it is to automate everything that we do, I don't think we should. Yes, there are tools that significantly improve our efficiency, and I definitely use those, but I've also realized that it makes me lazy and that computer-generated ideas take over my creative work, resulting in poor quality. So, for my new rule of thumb, I use AI for anything technical that saves you a lot of time. Think about subtitles, spelling checks, and automated cutting. Next to that, I use ChatGPT to give me different variations of my existing ideas and concepts. With this being said, be careful you don't over-structurize your systems too much. It will also kill the soul of your creativity and authenticity. And coming back to that, people will recognize your authentic creative work in a world full of AI-generated content. It may be all new and exciting now, but the more everything becomes AI-generated, the more people will crave actual human connection and actual human content. Point number 7. Don't start for the sake of starting. When I was working only as a freelance filmmaker, jumping into all kinds of different projects, 90% of the time I was working on a video that didn't really serve a purpose. The brands we were filming for didn't have a clue why they were making a video and how it was going to help them. Usually they saw a competitor creating videos and they figured they should do the same. So they just started. Without any strategy or plan, they hired an agency or a video production business that gladly took their money without providing a realistic plan to give them the results they want. And sure, this worked in 2012 when video content was still special, but now you're not so new anymore. This competitive market requires you to have some deep thinking about what you're making and who you're making it for. I can honestly say that the most of the freelance projects I've done, so that means the projects where I haven't really been strategically a part of, but simply executed the technical and the filming and editing, are the projects that never made the client any money. Only start a video project if you have a strategic plan for it, otherwise you're just blowing your time, money and energy. And if you guys want me to make a very specific video on how you can strategically start a successful video project, let me know in the comments and I will make it. Number 8. Spend more time prepping your video than editing it. Let's use a metaphor for the video you're creating. Let's say you're preparing a present for a family member, but your present itself is kind of whack. It's cheap, not really functional, and it doesn't fit the person you're giving it to. It's essentially worthless. But to fix that, you decide to give it the absolute best packaging you can. You get the best wrapping paper, put some confetti on it and all sorts of colors to make it look exciting. Only for the person who receives your gift to be extra disappointed after all the spectacle once he finds out the actual present is pretty whack. Well, this is exactly what most of you guys do when making a video, podcast or whatever piece of content. You have an idea which you think at the time of recording is really good. You press the record button, you start to babble a whole bunch of nonsense, watch back, edit it, try to fix everything and make it look more interesting by adding all kinds of visuals and stock footage. Figure you think it's good enough, but we'll do it better next time, and then you upload it. And believe me, I've done this plenty of times. Some of you may know the phrase, well, we'll fix it in post. And it doesn't work, but luckily there's a better way. If you spend more time prepping your video, doing research, making sure you're absolutely confident of what you're talking about, your video won't need special editing to succeed. Yes, you can use it to amplify, but your foundation is now rock solid. Number 9, always remember who you're making the video for. Your audience, not yourself. Creators, video editors, and influencers in general tend to create what they like. This doesn't mean your audience will. I've seen it over and over again. Creators are selfish, and in some cases this actually attracts an audience because people make an idol of you. But this is not the position I would want to strive for, because it's usually the toxic figures that get this type of attention, and it's ugly. When I'm making content for myself or my clients, I always try to put my audience first. Serve them and your business will thrive. Nobody cares about your like button, your age, or whatever you had for dinner last night. Stop talking about yourself unless it's specifically valuable for the person watching. And if you implement all of this, then congratulations, you finally made an actually valuable video that's worth watching.